Welcome back. Still watching Business Morning here on Channels Television. Well, the Central Bank of Nigeria's intervention funds to the private sector is up to 4.8 trillion naira as of November 2022. And although this has received some knocks, some Nigerians believe this is feeding also into the inflation. But the CBN disbursed 1.33 billion naira under the Agri-Business Small and Medium Enterprises Investment Scheme. Cumulative disbursement is now at 150.22 billion naira. Under the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Fund, the Apex Bank disbursed 10 million naira between September and October 2022, bringing the cumulative disbursement to 96.08 billion naira. Some have said this much money should have more impact on the economy, or is it even accessible? Well, we have a representative of a company that's a beneficiary of one of the Central Bank of Nigeria's intervention fund, Nina Ogu. She's an SME consultant and a management board member of Enterprise Development Center, Pan Atlantic University in Lagos, even though she's joining us outside Lagos. Hi, Nina. Good morning.
Morning, Ini.
Good to have you. Sometimes, especially after the MPC, when the central bank governor rules out the numbers of intervention funds and the amount spent, a lot of Nigerians just question who really gets it. Thankfully, we're able to get you. Tell us, how were you able to access that CBN intervention?
Well, let me first of all say that I agree with you that people have benefited from the funds. I mean, it's on record that as of today, we have over 35,000 MSMEs access the Maximize Fund. Okay, but it has its own challenges. From us at the Enterprise Development Center, working in collaboration with other consultants that we work with, it has a process. And then the process is actually where you could record the impact and the effect it has on MSMEs. So we're able to do that because, of course, knowing from where we are coming from, the ADC of the Pan Atlantic University, working with various consultants, the standard is top. We're able to take through this MSMEs training, you know, basically an intensive one, and of course, a one-on-one consultation with them to take them through all the processes that they need to be able to access these funds. Okay, but it might not be that it's 100% success, but I give it to federal government of Nigeria that it was also good, even though it came with its own challenges too, which we would talk about as we talk about the project itself.
Yeah, so
Okay.
because some people even kind of don't believe that this monies actually get out to the people. So when they give you this aid, does it come like in cash? Does it come in bulk? Does it come in non-cash? You know, do they help you to manage it, sink it into your business, and then watch and see the impact of it?
So that is where the challenge really is. Not just that they don't want you to, I mean, they don't follow up to see the impact, but they've also equipped the consultants, that is the BDSPs as we call them, with some sort of funds to be able to, as a buffer, to help them follow up on these MSMEs. Okay, but having said that, honestly speaking, the dispatch rate is really, really very, very low. I can tell you for that as a fact that out of this 35,000, it looks as if it's a quota system. That I want to go straight to that one, and which is also acceptable, or in some cases not acceptable, because you find out that in some parts of the geopolitical zones, it's as if the funds go more to there. I mean, coming from us that are from the south, for very few EDI that have gotten their SMEs get this facility is a tug of war. Okay, but that does not rule out the fact that people are assessing and they are still assessing, and the impact is there. But the fact is, the mechanism that is used in being to assess these funds, the standards, the fact that it goes to the wrong hands. I can tell you that one for sure. From some aspect, it goes to the wrong hands in terms of the accessibility. But there's some good, I mean, the intervention has also been a very positive one, I must tell you, because at least people have access to long term finance. There's a lot of increased productivity. I mean, Like, for instance, the price of net rice production has gone very, very, very high. And they've actually facilitated some sort of sustainable agricultural practice development that has increased agri value chain. But the modality of disbursing, ensuring that people really use these funds for what is supposed to be. And one other challenge that we are seeing, which I really would use this medium to talk to the government, is to see how there could be a collaboration with the regulatory bodies. I give you an instance, and NAFDAC. So people access this money, it takes a long time to come, we get collateral for them. And having even gotten these funds, which could come in terms of the facility, it could also be matching fund, it could also be the fact that, especially like the Axprice one, which you really would have to open a national microfinance bank account, and they can create that account and they help you source even for the vendors that would supply you some of these machineries that you need to support your business. But at the same time, it's also very sad that having even gotten that, the disbursement of the funds is good, but the fact that the usage, so if I am a small business trying to set up, to get NAFDAC certification is like as if I'm going to, the bottleneck is just too much. So you find out that having gotten that fund, I will not be able to use it because the accessibility, the channeling that fund into what I am meant to use it to channel it is always a challenge. So it's high time that the government will also speak to some of the regulatory bodies to find out how can we have some collaborative mechanism, some sort of understanding that try to cushion the some of the requirements that the small businesses would need to be able to make very good use of those funds. Ini?
Yeah. So, I mean, if we also look at it from the government's perspective, obviously there are needs to put in check measures so that there's
I
no
agree with you.
abuse. From your perspective and what you have experienced, how do you think a balance can be put so that the government is not just, even though you did say it still gets into the wrong hands, but where do you see a balance between finding a way to ensure that this works right without being abused and still making it at least on the average accessible to SMEs? Because SMEs, a lot of SMEs do not have the financial strength or the strength to go further and do all of those bureaucracy and meet up with all of that, as you have already noted. Where can we find a meeting point?
The federal government already solved that issue by trying to standardize the process of business development service providers in Nigeria, which is why I really want to focus on. In the past 1 year now, both the 32 certifying bodies, Enterprise Development Center in charge of the South, and then the Kaduna Business School in charge of the North, has actually have passed, accredited, certified over 200 consultants that are equipped to ensure that these MSMEs, understand what the fund is all about, go through this program and able to handhold them, make sure that the fund is disbursed, is used for that which they're supposed to do. Instead of having, I'm not trying to undertalk some of the bodies managing that, but they can also work hand in hand with this MSMEs. Why don't you just look at Sweden? They have all these consultants on their website. Find out across the region, and they are cut across the region. Let's look at those ones that you can work with. Give them that enabling environment to be able to do that, which they already have the expertise to do. So because these MSMEs need someone that would sort of apply both mentoring, coaching, and take them through the process of just getting that fund. So it's not just like it's a national cake. Let me go and get my own. I mean, like we have even well during the I think it was Apple Boras review that you have some MSMEs, they'll just come and stand in front of their rice field. They say stand there and they'll count their name and they'll give them funds without even knowing that they're meant to pay back that fund, without even knowing the exact usage of that fund. So back to what I talked about, the quota system, or where you see some top influential government bodies, officials trying to say, okay, I want this, I need this number, this must happen, and set some sort of a mushroom EDI, so to say, and then say, okay, these are the people that we've trained, and let's get them access this facility. So the moment the government realized that you already have a body that you have certified, that you have taken through to go through a process that are more than 250 as I speak, cut across all the geopolitical zone, then work with SMIDAM, of course. SMIDAM is the regulatory body in charge of all this, and the two sectors, and see how you can use this very good seasoned experts to make sure that the MSMEs understand what they are doing and the loan is being applied. Even if it means you're giving them a stipend or some sort of facility encouragement to make sure that they do their work. But it's high time we use them to be able to help these old SMEs understand really what the fund is all about, what is meant to for you, how I can assess them, and then the usage too. And then it could also be that they don't even need the funds. But the consultant will, working with them, will be able to identify really this is what is accepted and this is what is accepted and this is what they can use it and this is not what they can use it for. So for me, it's about having that environment, making sure that there's a handshake between these consultants, the government, and then the MSMEs. If you don't deploy that, honestly speaking, you will always record, not that it won't be 100% waste, but you always record the fact that the funds will never be channeled, it will never be as successful as it is. I am not really at the fact that, of course, there are success stories that we would like to share, but really, it's just what should be done to make sure that this is sustained and there's growth. And then the GDP, as we are contributing to that IGR and the GDP using the MSMEs.
Yeah, well, just before we let you go, and briefly, please, Nena, the MSMEs themselves or the SMEs, are they really interested? Because we do know in Nigeria, it seems when information comes from the government, a lot of Nigerians do not really trust that information, especially when it sounds too good to be true. How much of interest and efforts do the SMEs even put to even access it and maybe try to get their voices heard, to say, like, these observations you've made, let's try and get it across to CBN. So these are the challenges we are facing. Can you tweak this or tweak that to make it better?
Okay, so I am very certain, like I use myself as an example, the Enterprise Development Center. We have an advocacy group. I can say that we've passed out more than over 10,000 MSMEs that have gone through the institution. That they have a voice of their own. But the fact still remains that how do we get them investment fund ready to be able to even know that they qualify for those funds? About readiness, yes, some are ready. I mean, if you take the toll of those that are ready, I will tell you that on a score of 1 to 10, 7 out of every 10 MSMEs will tell you that they are ready. But then, how do you now assess and ensure that they are really ready and they need those funds and they know where to get it? That is where the consultants come in to make their own stake, to come and say that really, as a certified consultant, as a consultant, I've done this over the years, I've assessed these funds, I should be able to work with these MSMEs to know. Yes, communication still is a major challenge in the country, if me. I mean, it's a three-way thing, but I can tell you for sure that they are eager and they really want to access this fund. But the fact is, how, where, and then do they really know what the usage of that fund and the type of funds that they're able to get? Because accessing a wrong fund is also a big issue.
Mm. All right, Nena, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. And we do believe that this is getting to the right quarters, especially in this case, the Central Bank of Nigeria, making that intervention fund more impactful. Nena Ugo is an SME consultant and a beneficiary of one of the CBN intervention funds. Thank you so much, Nena.
Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you.